For the last 2.5 years of our life, we've been driving this van down the Pan-American Highway, the road trip of a lifetime.
But 2 months ago, we finished that trip.
What the heck do we do with our lives now?
Are we going to stop traveling, buy a house, settle down?
Are we going to sell our van?
Or we're just gonna do nothing and get drunk?
Naick.
It's 10 a.m.
So back to the last time you saw us, which was in the beginning of December, I think. We were at the bottom of Argentina.
All the way down Ushuaia.
We drove all the way to Ushuaia, the southernmost city in the world, the end of our Pan-American adventure, which was this really big climax and also one of the weirdest moments of my entire life, because we were like, so now what?
What do we do now? We feel a bit lost. A lot of you guys have been asking, are you going to travel the rest of South America, maybe head back to the US?
So the first thing we did after that is we drove the van all the way back up to Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, on the east coast. So basically we decided that the best thing to do would be to just ship the van back home to Europe. He'd been in South America for long enough. So we booked the first boat out of Buenos Aires. But as you know, shipping the van is a bit of a process. It takes so much time.
I wouldn't even call it a pain in the ass. It takes a week to empty the whole van, get it super clean. Before you can even think about dropping it off at the port, and boats get delayed all the time, which is also what happened to us.
I think the sailing date for the boat got pushed back 2 or 3 times, so it was a little bit stressful. But in the end, we did get it on the boat, which is both really good because then the van gets to go back home, and really bad because it's hella expensive. Like, what does it cost for Vinny to go on a 4-week, not luxury, not all-inclusive cruise back to Europe?
Was it 6,000 euros?
6,000 euros, about $6,500.
Which is cheap. I mean, it's an honest day's work.
That was in December, beginning of December. And then we got on a flight and we flew back home to Europe as well. We knew we wouldn't have the van back until probably after the holidays, but that was okay because we really wanted to spend the holidays at home.
That was so much fun. It had been 2 or 3 years since we had spent the holidays at home with our friends and family.
It was really great. It's like a really good recharge on our social batteries because during the Pan-American we spent a lot of time with just the 2 of us or meeting strangers along the way, but not really in the same room as the people that we love. So that was really...
Don't love me anymore?
New life update coming soon.
Awkward.
Anyway,
this is now a breakup video. Then just early January after New Year's we were supposed to pick up Vinny from the harbor, but of course he got late and he got late again, so it ended up being almost 3 weeks late, I think, in comparison with the original date.
So then we picked him up from the harbor. We were super happy because we had our van back at home in Belgium. He was in good shape and he was back from his really long adventure.
And nothing was stolen from the stuff that we had to leave in the van.
Yeah, while we was on the boat. It was totally fine. So that was a massive relief.
Really happy.
Yeah.
And after that we had to get 3 things done. First one, which is the most important one, is the technical inspection, because to drive on the Belgian roads you have to get your van inspected so it meets all the criteria that it is a safe vehicle. He passed the test, so 2 thumbs up for Vinny. We also had to get some regular maintenance work done on Vinny, like an oil change and filter change and everything. And then the third thing, which is actually really important, we had to get the timing belt changed. It's a belt that runs in your engine. If the belt breaks, your engine is... You need a new engine.
And Vinny is now at about 100,000 miles, just about.
Yeah.
And that is like the latest moment you should have it changed.
Which brings us to the current date, actually.
So in the end, for that specific job, we ended up booking him in at a garage in a different country. Not in Belgium, but somewhere else.
Different country.
So first, I feel like we need to tell you a little bit about what the plan is for this year, like the bigger picture plan. Every year when we come back home, all of our friends and family always ask us, like, what are you gonna do? How long are you gonna keep traveling? Where are you gonna go? Are you gonna settle back down? Are you gonna buy a house? Are you gonna go
get
back?
A real job?
And I would love to say that we have this really big master plan, like this strategy for life, a 5-year plan, a vision.
I don't even remember what I had for lunch.
But usually it's just like, we look at each other and we're like, you want to do this for another year or do you want to do something else? I think I still want to do this.
More travel.
For at least another year. So we are not settling down. We are not moving back to Belgium.
We're not getting a dog and 1.5 children.
We just want to travel and keep seeing beautiful places all over the world. But this year we're going to do it in a bit of a different way than you're used to from the last couple of years. The Pan-American Highway. It ended up taking 2.5 years. And most of that was spent basically out in nature, sometimes in the middle of nowhere with no people around. There was a lot of time in really remote places, which, don't get me wrong, that is super cool. But there's also certain things that we've been missing out on over the past 2.5 years.
Beer and people and like really beautiful cities. We've kind of missed that in South America, Central America.
This year, we're gonna stick to one continent that has some of the best food in the world. Some of the best cultural sites in the world.
A lot of history.
A lot of history.
We're traveling Europe this year.
This year, we're going to be focusing our travels exclusively on Europe and basically going back to our roots, back to our own backyard.
Yep.
Because when we were younger with our families, we used to travel across Europe all the time.
We used to go to Spain, Italy, France, Germany, so many countries we visited.
And I think after years of doing that, we kind of wanted to see more of the world, which is what we've been doing for the last few years.
Yeah.
But now that we've seen other parts of the world, we're like, we kind of like certain things about Europe a lot. Like, it has some of the most beautiful landscapes. Like I said, the food is just excellent.
I'm actually really mostly looking forward to the food, to be honest.
And something that I'm also really looking forward to, and what I really love about Europe as well, is that it's really compact. Like, it's so tiny and so small, and it's gonna be so easy to travel in.
It's not like in the US, you have to drive 12 hours from just one city to the next one. It's like 12 hours, you're outside of Europe here.
You're somewhere in an ocean.
Now, of course, you're wondering, Europe is a pretty big continent. It has many countries. Which places are you going? Are you still going to be traveling around in the van, or are you going to sell that piece of, like some people called it? Poor Vinny. He's the most reliable van ever. We've actually come up with a plan for the first few months.
And we're gonna give you some hints as to the first places that we're going.
The first country we're going to is known for windmills, tulips, and cheese.
We are, of course, talking about the Netherlands. Woohoo!
That's our first country.
And actually, we are already in the Netherlands. So the Netherlands is located like right next to Belgium. And where we are right now, we're in a parking lot in the van that is just a few hours outside of Amsterdam. There's a couple of reasons why we wanted to start off with a brief trip into Amsterdam. Number one, because it's a fantastic city. Like, we're gonna show it to you in the next video.
They have amazing food here, the best comfort food.
And the vibe is just, it's so much fun. And also, why else are we here?
Well, we also found a garage here that can actually change our timing belt, like now instead of in 1 month's time. So, like, all that's combined factors made it into the perfect country to visit right now. The next country is very neutral. They have the Alps and the second best chocolate in the world.
Second best, because Belgium has the best chocolate.
We are from Belgium, so...
After Netherlands, we are going to go to Switzerland,
Woohoo!
which is going to be super beautiful. So we're gonna spend about a week in and around Amsterdam, and then from here drive down to Switzerland, where we're gonna do a winter road trip, because if we're lucky, it's gonna be like super snowy.
I actually read that yesterday or 2 days ago there was 2 meters of snow in the skiing areas in Switzerland. I'm not sure about the valleys, but at least there's like crazy amounts of snow.
Oh, because we like winter, but I like it when winter is snowy and not rainy.
A lot of places in Europe actually have like this dull winter weather where it's like
dark,
gray,
dreary.
And afterwards, after Switzerland, we have already 2 more countries on our itinerary, which we're really looking forward to. The first one, I've got some hints. They like bratwurst and sauerkraut. They like rules. And their side hustle is invading countries.
Oh my, you can't say that. Anyway, we're going to Germany.
And we're going to be visiting the southern region of Germany as well. The area around Munich, Bavaria. It's really, really beautiful. There's lots of things to do there. I read that they have amazing food. I've actually never been to Munich and I'm looking forward to the food as well.
And the food in Germany is known for like being super comfort food, super...
Oh yeah, especially
like,
now in winter
it's
time.
like, it's the equivalent of wrapping yourself in a warm blankie. And
You thought that was weird?
And that is just our plan for like the winter season until the winter ends. We're gonna be in Europe all year long, but those countries are what we're gonna focus on until the end of winter.
Then when spring comes around, we're going to
one of our favorite countries in the whole world.
Probably my favorite country in Europe.
Pizza, pasta, and Venice. We're going to Italy.
Yeah, we're going to be spending a bunch of time in Italy because it's such a big country and there's so many different regions and cities that we can go to.
We've been there a bunch of times. We've been to Rome, we've been to Venice, we've been to the Amalfi Coast in the south. We're going to revisit some of the absolute highlights.
Yeah, definitely I want to go back to Venice. I mean, the canals there and Rome with all the history. It's just like stepping back in time.
Yeah, and that is a very good example, like Venice specifically, of something that we missed when we were in South America and Central America. Again, don't get me wrong, I loved the PANAMERICAN.
It was great.
It was a fantastic adventure, but like places like that, Europe really does best. Good.
It is good, but it tastes second best.
So before we tell you the plan for summer and a little bit more about the rest of the year and the videos and stuff, I just wanted to make it clear that even though some things are obviously gonna change because we're now in a different part of the world, our videos may be slightly different, but they won't be very different because we still love the same stuff. Like, we still love doing road trips, we still love fantastic food, we still love showing you beautiful places, and there are so many beautiful little corners of Europe.
And for now, for the first few weeks and months, we're going to be traveling in Vinny because it's like easy, it's our home, we feel at home here. And I mean, he's been such a good boy on the PANAMERICAN. I think he can handle a little bit more in Europe.
Oh my god, this is his retirement!
Like this is a little bit like his retirement, a little bit easier roads for him. But we're not going to be traveling in Vinny all the time. We're also going to be taking some trips, maybe with the airplane or with trains, stay in hotels, some really nice locations that we've planned. So it's going to be a mix of pretty much everything this year.
So after Italy, we're thinking it's probably going to be like May-ish, and then we're actually coming to another part of the reason why we wanted to spend all of this year in Europe is because for the last few years we haven't really seen our friends and family as often as we would have liked because we were all the way on the other side of the world somewhere.
Yeah, it was logistically really difficult to just fly back home, to leave Vinny somewhere. We were not allowed to leave some countries without Vinny. It was expensive, like logistically it was a nightmare. And
so now in Europe we have small distances, super cheap flights. Belgium is pretty centrally located. Yeah. So we're hoping to go back and forth for a few weeks every now and then. And so the first time we're gonna go back home to Belgium is probably in May. And after that, we're going to the UK and Scotland. There's some really beautiful places there, villages, they've got coastlines, like miles and thousands of miles of coastline. Maybe we also get to meet up again with Chris and Marianne from Thread the Globe. They said they would probably be in the UK somewhere in summertime for a little bit. So more friends and family. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. And then after the summer, I have to say the plan gets a little bit fuzzy. Because like I said, the whole plan is a bit fuzzy. We don't have, because we would not be us without fuzzy plans. We don't have 5-year plans. We don't even have a 1-year plan. I think we made it to about 6-7 months, and I'm very proud of us for that. That's really good. Applause, applause. But the rest of the year will probably still be in Europe. This year is just going to be exploring some of the best spots that you will know, spots that you will not know, so that if you can't come here, you will have seen it, and if you're gonna come here at some point, if you're just browsing YouTube for inspiration for other people's videos, we're gonna give you a boatload of inspiration for your next trip to Europe. Yeah, maybe we'll be visiting countries like France, Spain, Portugal. If you have any tips for us, any places you would love us to go, comments. Any countries or specific places you would think, I've always wanted to see that. So if you're watching this, that probably means you have been with our channel for quite a good while, and we really appreciate that you're still sticking around and are excited to see what we're up to next after the PANAMERICAN. I promise you this year will be worth your time. Now you might remember in our last video we said that the next video was going to be like the 2-hour-long documentary version of the whole PANAMERICAN highway, like the big story, a travel documentary. We are still working on that, but I realized that if we're gonna be traveling around in Europe in winter, there's gonna be some days where the weather sucks, and we're not gonna be able to go out and film, which is gonna give me some time to edit it, whereas during the holidays when we were at home and seeing friends and family, I didn't have a whole lot of time to edit it. So I'm working on it, but it's coming. And now it's already past 11 AM actually, so it's time. We'll see you guys in the next one right here in Amsterdam. We're starting off with a food tour of Amsterdam, which is going to be great. So see you in the next one.